Abstraction in Art and Architecture by Megan, Cara, Sophia, and Raquel.
Abstraction. Abstraction is taking away from complex forms to focus on more essential characteristics. It reduces art and architecture to basic, simplified forms to convey a deeper meaning. In art, it means removing elements to produce something simplified and not so much as recognizable in the real world. In architecture, it's the process of, again, simplifying designs and focusing on the things that are more essential. Some theoretical references are Cubism, which is founded by Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque. It's breaking up objects and putting them back together in abstracted forms, and it influenced other movements. The second one is Distill, which is basically universal harmony through reduction. So same thing to essential forms and colors. These movements use the most basic forms of objects to influence art and architecture. By using the most essential elements and components and taking out anything they was unnecessary, they were able to produce abstraction.
Interpreting abstraction in art and architecture. The main idea is for abstraction connects both fields by simplifying complex ideas through forms, geometry, and expression. Architecture focuses on functionality and the built environment, while abstract modern art explores emotion and interpretation. Both disciplines break reality into simplified conceptual forms, sketches, models, and diagrams in architecture work, like non-representational shapes and colors in art. Artists like Frank Stella and Piet Mondrian explored geometry in order, inspiring architects such as Zaha Hadid, who translated abstract compositions into fluid architectural spaces. The relationship between art and architecture is dynamic and interdependent. One often shapes the visual language of the other. Here are some examples field how abstraction is applied. So the Thai-Lassing the third architecture uses simplified geometry forms and repetition to express order and spatial rhythm, reflecting abstract visual balance. Frank Lloyd, of course, and his house, inspired by Maya motifs and modular design, transforms Asian patterns into modern stylized forms and is a bridge between art and architecture. The Teotihuacan, Mexico, which is urban design as well as architecture, symbolic abstraction through pyramid geometry and spatial hierarchy, transforming religious and cosmic ideas into the pure architectural form. That's how abstraction is applied to different fields. Thank you.
Okay, for our concept map, we have abstraction in the middle, and then it branches off into two different categories, which is art and architecture. With architecture, it then branches off into the three main architects that we've been talking about, along with a little bit of what describes their work as abstraction, and then breaks off into a final one of an example from their works. For art, it breaks off into three different things. One of them is architecture, but the whole point is that they can overlap and have a little bit in common. So there's three, and then again, it branches off into a little bit of why it's abstraction and what they have to do with it. And then again, they finally break off into an example of architecture, art, whatever I felt exemplified the abstraction within the art.
Abstraction in architecture challenges our thought process and creates meaningful ways to interpret a building. Architects are able to evoke a certain feeling by manipulating space, material, and colors. A great example of a building that challenges the idea of abstraction is the Farnsworth House located in Illinois. The genius behind this iconic glass and steel house was Ludwig Miles van der Rohe. Ludwig lived by the ideology that less is more and influenced many future architects' standards. Being located almost 60 miles south of Chicago, the simple glass and steel house is more than it appears. Secluded in a 10-acre site, the structure takes full advantage of its natural settings, therefore creating a balance of nature in its structure. This house has columns that support both the roof and floor, and large windows that allow for viewers to truly engulf the beauty of the natural environment. This building not only depicts how fragile humanity is towards nature, but also highlights the importance of a relationship with the natural setting.